Good evening, and welcome in the loving light and embrace of Cain, and welcome to Dublin. Tonight, there is a small happening. There's been a couple of fights in the MMA circle, but it's not the top leagues, but it's the up and coming. And one of these up and comings have just finished a fight. She's doing very well. She is Emily Stevenson. She has just finished. She has won one of the most important fights yet, and she's just gotten down from the fight. She's showered. She's gotten dressed again, and been speaking a bit with her trainer, a lot actually. He's very proud of her, and that's been encouraging. That's normally encouraging words. And being herself, she hasn't said too much. She's just happy that it went that way, and well, honestly, she enjoys the fight more than anything else, especially more than people talking to her afterwards. But anyways, currently she is just taking her duffel bag with stuff and just swung it over her shoulders and is preparing to get to the hotel room where she will stay for the night.
Fine. As she makes her way out of the venue where the fight took place, she'll notice the fact that it's oddly quiet out here, which it really shouldn't be, considering the fact the crowd dispersed. The fight ended about 30 minutes ago, and yet, hmm, there's no one milling about, there's no one talking, there's no one who seems to be, no hangers on, no one waiting for taxis. It's very deathly quiet.
Hmm. Emily will notice this, and she will actually pick up her phone. There's the fact there's no one. She will pick up her phone and try to hail a cab actually herself.
There is no phone signal, and the broadband signal appears to be down, or the
She will
Wi-Fi signal
curse
appears to be
a
down.
little bit to herself. Damn it! And she will just pick up her phone and walk. It's not that far. She knows the way.
Make me a perception alertness check, please. Are you on our Discord, by the way? I think you are.
I don't think so.
It is on the description in the Facebook chat.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, so I can just join it. It's not. You don't need to get an
No,
approval.
you can just join it.
Ah, okay, fair enough. Perception alertness, I believe that is.
We only have the one dice room, so you don't need to worry about which one.
Right. That is 3 plus 2. That is 6 dice.
It is standard difficulty.
I have 3 successes.
All right then. For a brief moment, you see a hand emerge from one of the alleys, one of the back streets. A hand that appears to be stained with crimson before in an instant it's dragged back into the darkness.
Emily knows her way around defending herself, so she just dismisses it. Oh, it's probably something she imagined or something. It was probably something that looked like it. It's probably nothing. But she will be readying herself somewhat. But yeah, she will not look at it. I mean, unless he hears like obvious like sounds of fighting or something like that.
You don't hear any sounds of fighting. You do hear what appears to be a dog that has a bone.
Yeah, she is. She just moves on. She's That was probably just her senses playing tricks on her or something. Anyway, she wants to get home now, so yeah.
Okay. You make your way down the street, and then you realize that you're not alone anymore. It starts subtly from the alleyways, red eyes, crimson, burning through the darkness, looking at you.
How many?
If you try to move quicker,
How many?
at least 4 or 5 sets of them.
She puts her duffel bag down. Look, I don't have any money. Well, I have a little, but you can have it. But I don't want any trouble.
Oh my. You think that we want money? Very casually, there's a very wet noise that sounds like and thrown out onto the street in front of you. There's a hand, a severed hand that is covered, that has a number of gold rings on them in the style that's worn by a number of producers and very high up echelon people within the boxing industry to denote their wealth.
Does she recognize it?
You know what? That will be your manager's hand.
Emily will scream. I will not do it since it will not sound good, and I value your hearing.
I
But
also value my hearing.
yeah, she will scream very loudly and just she will just begin to run.
Run as fast as you can, Gandhi. At which point you will see the shadows all around you start to move, start to pulse with life or movement, definitely, as hooded figures in long trench coats rend after you. Many of them have fingers tipped with claws far too long for people. They're so fast.
That does not make Emily put her speed down. In fact, it does quite the opposite. She tries to run even faster, even though it's probably not going to help her, but she's going to try.
You feel an immense weight on your back as your face meets the pavement. Smash! You can only think that something jumped onto your shoulders and kicked you onto the ground.
Emily is going to try to wrestle or grapple the person who just did that.
Awesome. Would you like to roll me an opposed dex brawl roll?
Yes, I would. And I do believe I have a specialty in this.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 3 success. Well, it's 4 successes, right? Since 10s count for 2 and it's not exploding dice, so.
You managed to beat him, which means you essentially managed to twist your body around and smash him into the ground, putting him into a headlock.
Yeah, and she will just say, "Leave me the fuck alone," and we'll just scream at you or scream at this person, and yeah.
You feel another set of hands grab you around the throat. These ones much stronger than the others, and they hold you fast. What can I say? You look up at the moon, glinting down at you. I like them with spirit. At which point you feel a euphoric sensation come over you. Your eyes will close and everything will go black. You awaken from what must have been sleep, and God, you're so cold. You've never felt cold quite like this. Your mouth is filled with dirt. Ah,
Okay. Oh god, I've been buried alive. Fuck. Fuck. And Emily will begin to freak the fuck out. She'll try to spit the dirt out, and we'll just for a good 5 minutes, we'll just freak out. But she's gonna like after she's calms down or stops, she begins to notice that if she's underground, she shouldn't be able to breathe as much and as effortlessly as she does, and she doesn't seem to be short of breath, even though she should be. This concerns her a little. But then she doesn't stop. She doesn't seem to really be all that tired, as you should be if you're buried underground and near death. Hmm. She, she begins to freak out a little bit again and just begins to, as much as she can, worm her way upwards.
all right.
And
You eventually.
I am guessing that Emily also quite fast will become quite hungry.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Uh, you are immediately aware that you're not the only person who's dragging yourself up through the darkness, through the muck, through the mire. There are many people around you. You can feel hands gripping you until eventually you come out into the light above. You've never been so glad in your entire existence to see the moon, but there it is above you.
She's
You
gonna
feel the rain pitter patter on your face, seeming to wash away the impurities, to sluice away the muck.
um, she's gonna immediately look around and see where she is.
You have no idea. You're in a forest, a heavily wooded area somewhere.
She will look
There,
at the people coming up. Does she recognize any of the people getting?
some of them were at your fight.
Emily will begin to freak once more.
One moment. A very commanding voice will snap from just behind you, and you see a figure who's very, very haphazardly, perhaps is the phrase I would use, perched on a tree stump not far from you. She doesn't seem to care about the. She doesn't seem to really care about the. One moment, I just have to find the name of the thing. Okay, cool. She doesn't seem to really care about the moisture, the rain that falls and speckles her as she looks over you all with very, very disinterested eyes. I'm just finding a picture. One moment. Yeah, there it is. It took its sweet time. This woman will be looking at you all, and she'll say in a very commanding voice, "Well, now, up and at them, it seems." Everyone appears to be horribly confused.
Emily is just looking around. And, is she as pale as is shown?
Yep.
Emily will just take someone, probably near them, and shove them towards this person, and she's going to run away.
As you do force somebody towards it, you force a man who looks to be a teenager, probably about 19 years of age, you'd say, towards her in a very swift, lightning like maneuver. Her fist blurs almost out of existence and it drives itself through her skull up to her elbow as the body turns to ash before it hits the ground. No, no, no. I've already had to, well, they've already chased you once. I have no interest in doing it a second time. Also, well, poor boy.
What the fuck are you? And what? And she looks down at the ash. I um. She doesn't sit down as much. She just falls over on her ass and just begins to crawl backwards up to a tree and just says, "Stay away from me, please. Don't just."
Congratulations, all of you. You're now soldiers in a war. Welcome.
I'm not. I'm. I. I don't want to. I don't.
You act like want has anything to do with this.
What the hell is going on? Like, what are you doing? What's happening?
Let's do a demonstration for the class, shall we? Very casually, you will see her drag from the other side of the stump a young woman you wouldn't guess much out of her teenage years who's been bound and gagged, dragging her by the hair. Hi, you, girl. What's your name?
Oh, she's talking to me, or
Yes. Yeah, she's looking directly at you.
I'm not telling you anything. I need some answers beforehand. What are you? What's going on? Like,
She will very casually whip out a knife from a holster on her belt, and she cuts this young woman's throat in front of you. Warm blood will spray all over you. I don't know if you've ever seen what happens when you cut the femoral artery. Bad things.
yeah, but Emily is, instead of being, well, she is horrified and is for a millisecond she is horrified, but then the taste, then the smell, then the feeling will just electrify her, and she will just look at this person, and almost instinctively she will just know not to let a single drop of blood, more than what has already been spilled, go to waste. And she will just more or less tackle the body and just begin to drink.
See? Welcome to the club. For the record, kids, she'll say, looking at the others, my name's Scarlet. And as I said, welcome, kiddies, to the war effort. If you're happy with that, we can call it there. Basically, there will then follow a pseudo orientation that I don't have, honest to God, time to go into. They will give you the basics of what it is, what you are, what has happened, and yeah, that will open you up to meet the others. Yay!
Yeah, Emily will spend. She will make sure that she has gotten us everything from this young woman, because it tastes really really good. But she is going to have questions, and that is something we can take in another scene.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, ST for ST, and watchers for watching. Players for playing. Good night.